Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. DJ Williams on being part of the Jamband community.
Get over
Exactly.
yourself.
Another thing with jam bands I find with their studio output is it's more a sketch. Whereas a lot of, pop bands, most other genres, they go in and they make the artifact. This is the
Yeah,
definitive way that this song is played.
yeah, from beginning
But
to
on the
end.
other
Yep.
side, when you go see Bruce Springsteen, you want to hear it like it's on the record. You don't want to hear the Fish song like it's on the record. You want to hear
Yeah,
them interpret it. So
sure.
but I think that the studio is so important, and maybe we can get into a little bit of how do you make that financially, feasible, the studio to sell the product with streaming giving you nothing,
Yeah.
what do you see with that in the industry?
As far as the world of streaming,
Well, there was streaming and just trying having to sell physical copies, the methods of production, is being a studio musician even sustainable without playing live?
no, no, not at all. I mean, literally everybody has access to almost every song in the world in their pocket, literally. And it's just the thing, like for me personally, I made the decision. It's like I'm not gonna sit here and be bitter about it. It's just the way that's things are gonna move forward, and we need to adapt and move forward to keep up. And yeah, it's not great that it's selling physical copies of records is not really a thing anymore, but that's just how it is. And just I'm not saying deal with it. I'm saying but adapt and try to if you need to stay on the road to make your money, or if you do want to get physical albums in people's hands, then don't put yourself on streaming. You have a choice.
Right.
It might be harder, but like things don't turn left or right on their own. Like you need to make a decision and decide what way you're going to go to keep
Right.
up with this infrastructure that's in place now, or be the curmudgeon that's at the bar bitching about it and,
Right.
and crying
Have
into
you
your drink. And I just can't be that person anymore.
have you ever thought about sync licensing, that kind of thing?
Oh
Saying,
yeah,
"Hey, I'm
100%.
available."
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
I'm
say that
actually
is that's a
yeah.
viable path to work.
I have a little studio right here in my home, and I'm currently working on 2 submissions for Netflix shows today. Actually,
Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice. Well, hopefully that works. I love to
I hope
hear
so
that because
too.
I mean, I feel like I talked to this guy named Jimmy Montague, and he's
Hmm.
a fifth wave emo guy, but he put out a '70s sounding Steely Dan kind of album, right?
Yes,
And I love it. And he had horns. And when I interviewed him, I was like, "Why don't you play live?" He's like, "I can't." He's like, "How do I get 20 people up there on stage to recreate
yeah,
this?"
yeah.
And he was
With
like,
no
"I'm such."
budget.
Right, he said, "The only thing I can see doing is streaming. Doing it in a place and then streaming it out and trying to generate some revenue that way off of
Yeah,
it." But, it's an interesting thing. I was talking last night on this other show I do about when I was growing up, you would buy, like I got the new AC/DC album. That was
hmm
it. I invested in that. I wasn't
yes.
going online and hearing the new Judas Priest too or anything else. It
Yeah.
was just that one thing, and it's so strange now to me still that I can just say, "Oh, stuff gets to get lost in the shuffle."
It does. It really does.
She's still up there screaming. So, how about, how
It's right now.
right. Do
Yeah.
you feel do you think that the jam band moniker is detrimental in the larger musical community, or do you think people just don't even pay attention to it?
It can be detrimental, and I would never talk badly about the jam band scene. I
No,
don't.
not at all. I'm just
Yeah, because
it's
you can't choose your fans too. I mean,
right.
it's very much yeah. I've been in the scene for a very long time. I've been embraced in this scene, but it's also I would like to have an audience outside of the scene as well too, like to branch out and be accepted amongst the Gary Clark Juniors and the
Right.
Aerosmith fans of the world, like things like that. Like, yeah,
Alan Evans was one.
yeah,
And he was talking about looking out, and there's a bunch of white, well, young white kids at small live shows, and he's like, "How does
yeah,
that happen?"
yeah. But that's the beauty of that scene. That the scene embraces and will let you be you, and as weird as you want to be, and as long as they like what you're doing, they're going to be your fans, and that's a
Right.
beautiful thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, anything else that you want to jump into, or
What's happening around the Denver scene? That's what there's some really beautiful stuff happening here. So
yeah, the
we're gonna be
Gentil is out there. Do you know those guys, Keaton
yep.
Sullenberger?
Yeah,
And,
yeah. He's a phenomenal guitar player. Yeah. I didn't know you knew those guys. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we've had him on. Yeah, we've had him on a few times.
Nice.
You ever go out and just pop up at bands and play?
Yeah, all the time. You know where there's a big venue here called Cervantes. I live
Yes.
like a block and a half down the street from there, so I can literally read the marquee from my living room window. So I'll be like, "Who's playing there tonight?" And I'll just pop in, and I'm actually gonna go see Dumpster Funk there tomorrow night. Hang out with
Nice.
those fellas, Ivan and everybody.
Oh, cool. Right, right, right.
Yeah, man.
Ivan and is Ian in the band still?
Yep, Ian's there.
Oh,
Yeah,
very nice. And who's all that? Is it Nick Daniels? Is that
Nick Daniels, one of
yeah.
my favorite singers of all time, along
Oh,
with being the greatest bass player.
fantastic voice. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't get a lot of the good singing with jam bands either. I keep tearing them
You're
apart.
right.
I make my yearly trek out for Fish. Where are you on Fish? Do you like them, or is it they're
I
there?
do. I'm not like a huge Fish fan, but there's tunes that I'll tell you what got me into Fish. I used to stand at the bus stop, and I had this super hot neighbor who was like 2 grades ahead of me, and she picked me up, and I remember being so excited that like this girl was like giving me a ride to school, and I was like, this is awesome. And like Guy Udi was playing on. I didn't know that at the time, but I was like, dude, what is this? This is like badass, like musicianship. She was like, this is this band Fish, and she was the one who like got me started listening to that, and like that's when I was like, you enjoy myself. I was like, this is like orchestrated music, but like a rock band's playing it. This is dope. And then I started going to shows, and like not all of it's my cup of tea, but I was definitely that's what got me into that band.
Right.
Yeah,
I I always say that everything I did between 12 and 32 was in furtherance of getting laid. So
yeah, right, exactly.
it happens. It
So
happens.
my super hot little hippie neighbor, she's the reason I started liking Fish.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.